What up, y'all? Welcome back to Rolling the Bomb. We're back for another episode of the show. Excited to break it all down. Right now, it's currently Saturday. Hopefully, the episode is out on Saturday. You never know with me. But we got a lot of small topics that dropped the past couple of days that I haven't been posting. So excited to kind of clear up on some of the news, give you my thoughts and opinions. But first, NASCAR had a partnership with Crocs, and they came with their own NASCAR Crocs, and I got myself my first pair, my only pair of Crocs ever. And I gotta say, these things, I mean, come on now. You see these things? They're absolutely incredible. They're unbelievable. They're just unfreaking believable. They're so cool. They got the car tomorrow wing on the back. I mean, it's a really cool partnership. The NASCAR's got here with Crocs, and I'm looking forward to rocking them for sure. Another thing when it comes to apparel, 47 will have a licensing deal with NASCAR to make apparel, NASCAR hats, race team hats, some merch. I assume NASCAR was still on their NASCAR shop merch and stuff you can buy, but also I guess you could buy 47 branded merch of your favorite hats and T-shirts and sweatshirts of your favorite drivers. So this is really cool. It's cool to see NASCAR really getting to a bunch of big time successful, well-known clothing brands and foot brands to really help promote their sport. So I think it's really cool partnership. And I don't know, I might have to buy myself a hat. Now I have a much bigger head, so I can't really get the adjustable ones. I have to get one of those flex fit type hats where they stretch a little more. But definitely something I look forward to checking out. One of our first topics is Madison March will be the pace car driver for the Daytona 500. She was recently crowned Miss America. Never heard of her. I don't really watch that show. But it's cool. The Grand American race, you're going to have the pace car driver will be Miss America. So that'll be cool. There's not really much to the story, but hey, we're going to have the Miss America, The Rock, Pitbull. Going to be a lot of big time celebrities, and we could see more celebrities showing up for the big, great American race. Then I want Zane Smith has some truck races lined up with Hilligren McAnally Racing. If I'm saying that name right, correct? I get tongue twisted with those names. I'll do 4 races: Vegas, Las Vegas, Bristol, Kansas, and Texas. So it's cool, Zane was with Ford, but now it's nice. He's now with Chevy, so now it looks like he's building some relationships with some Chevy teams, and who wouldn't want to have Zane Smith in one of their trucks? He's a good Truck Series driver, won a championship, won many races in Truck Series, so it's cool to see that and see him get back behind the wheel of a truck. Speaking of Zane Smith, Brad Keselowski and Eric Jones did a wet wear tire test at Bristol to see if they're capable of running wet wear tires at Bristol and I guess higher banked short tracks, because the tire weather package they're using for short tracks this year, they're not going to be using windshield wipers, rain lights, or rain flaps. You're just going to have your regular rain tire, and you can only race in damp conditions. You can't have any spray coming up from the tires. So this will be definitely cool. I think it's definitely going to be possible. But the thing about it when it comes to this whole tire test is that they're saying you can't have spray. So the track has to be so damp enough where you can't get water spraying up. So I feel like the time they put these tires on in some race, that then the track is going to dry up so quickly because it's only going to be damped. So then you're already going to have in 5, 6, 7 laps, you're probably going to have cars coming in. I would assume that might be a little too short. But I do think this is going to be a great idea. Speaking of Bristol, because it's the return of the concrete this year, they're going to do a throwback style and bring back the white and red walls, red stripes on the walls. Really cool. Kind of like a Darlington style wall. So it's cool. It's going to kind of bring back to the early years of Bristol. So really unique. Brad Keselowski, Eric Jones, and Zane Smith, one of the first people to paint on a red stripe. So unique. They'll be like this. The throwback style will be for just this race, and then they'll go back to the black walls for the night race. But really cool, unique to kind of throw back for the first race back at Bristol in the concrete in a couple of years. And it'll be interesting to see if this tire test was a positive and maybe a change they do make when it comes to whether or not they'll run rain tires on the higher bank short tracks. Next thing I want to get into, it looks like F1 is closer and closer to having a street course race in Chicago. That would make it 4 street course races for F1. I mean, NASCAR just had their street course race. So I'm not sure this is F1 trying to steal a spotlight. They want to be the number one motorsports that invades Chicago, I don't know. I'm not sure they had this idea before. NASCAR chose to go to Chicago. I know NASCAR will be back there. I'm looking forward to it. Now, it is kind of funny, the big news that came out of F1 a couple weeks ago was that Andretti Motorsports got their application or F1 license denied to come in to F1. That would have been, I guess, the first American team. I think that would be the only American-based team for F1. And they got denied, and they were going to bring in a whole new manufacturer in Cadillac, which is like Chevrolet, Chrysler. So that was really a big story. A lot of people are saying that, F1 cares more about Americans' money than really trying to have an American presence in their sport daily or something like that. I don't really watch F1 much. I don't find that exciting. The racing isn't as good. I think IndyCar is a way better open wheel series. But this will be interesting to see. It looks like they're going to have their street course race and around Soldier Field where the Chicago Bears play. So, a different location. I think this is going to be more like a 2025 plan. I think the schedule already came out for F1. But I do kind of find this interesting, surprising. All I'll say is, hey, if you're a race fan in Chicago, it'll be a lot more cheaper and a lot more better racing to go to the NASCAR race than spending a couple of grand to go watch, a parade lap in your city. But it is definitely a pretty interesting story. Next thing, Frankie Muniz will attempt the Daytona Xfinity Series race in the number 35 Joey Gase racing car. Ford Performance will be the sponsor. This is great. There was a lot of rumblings. What was the future for Frankie Muniz in NASCAR and stock car racing? He had a decent run with Rhett Jones Racing in the ARCA Series. I was pulling up his stats. He had, out of his 20 races, 0 wins, 1 top 5, 11 top 10s, 0 poles, he didn't lead any laps, average finish of 10.0, top 10 average. But it looks like he'll run a select races with this team, Joey Gase Racing. But it looks like it'll be more of an open car. But I know Ford has a lot of support. Ford really likes this guy. They want to help him succeed and, pursue his goals and dreams in this sport. He's 38 years old, so he's much older, very, very old, to be trying to pursue a career in this, especially, I assume he wants to go to the Cup Series, but we'll see. If I would be honest, I don't see him getting there. I would love for him to get there, but I just don't know. You're 38. You're not, unless he has plans to race for another 10 to 15 years, you're not going to be some driver unless you're really, really talented and showing a lot of skill and capability of winning a lot of races. I don't think a team's going to take a chance on you. He could have a career in a certain series, like an Xfinity Series, if he does well. He could be a full-time Xfinity Series driver for a couple of years. But, not a Cup Series. He's skipping trucks. There's not many trucks. There's not many Ford teams down there. I don't think so. And not really many opportunities for him to race down there. I think ThorSport might be the only Ford team down there. And they're fully stacked for next year. So there probably really wasn't any room for him to go besides Xfinity. And the reason I bring it up is because the truck, drives a lot more similar than Cup. But yeah, I'm happy for Frankie Muniz. It'll be interesting to see how he does in these couple races that he runs. We'll see if he makes the field for Saturday. I'm not sure how many cars are qualified for that race, if it's over 40. But I'll have to, stay tuned to my Xfinity Series and Truck Series preview show for the Daytona weekend. But this will definitely be a fascinating story to follow going into this year. Last thing I want to cover is the Daily Downforce posted some stuff about how you would rank your crown jewels in order. This is really cool, and there's a lot of talk. A lot of people were giving their own thoughts on this. The Daily Downforce's top 5 was Daytona 500 first, Southern 500 second, Coca-Cola 600 third, Brickyard 400 number 4, and then the honorary was Bristol Night Race. I would say, to me, what you can tell it's a crown jewel is that it's not like sponsored race. It doesn't have a sponsor tied to it. So all of them are all separate. It all usually has to do with, where the race is at, what track it's at. Now, the thing is, the Coca-Cola 600 has a sponsor name to it. It used to be called the World 600, which is a way cooler name than the Coca-Cola 600. If I were to give you my order, I would do the Daytona 500 number 1, the Brickyard 400 number 2, the Southern 500, number 3, and then the Coca-Cola 600, number 4. And then I will throw the honorary in there with the Bristol Night Race, because I do think it's a very prestigious race. Now, I know a lot of people are not putting Brickyard 400 higher is because it's not been around for a couple of years, but this is the 30th anniversary. It is the Brickyard. It's at a very famous track, one of the most famous tracks. It's not the most famous track in the world. Everyone knows of it. I still like it at number 2 because it's such a prestigious race. It'll be the 30th anniversary, and they're bringing it back for the first time in a couple of years. I hope fans really show up for that race and really support it. And then the Southern 500 at Darlington. It's a great race. I think it's one of the best races, one of the most challenging races, one of the most grueling races in all of NASCAR at number 3. And then I put the Coca-Cola 600 at number 4 due to the fact that it's Coca-Cola 600. You know, to me, even though it's a very prestigious race, it just in my brain, and this is my opinion, I don't make it, my way I think doesn't make me feel like it's as prestigious as the other races. If it was called the World 600, I'd probably have it at number 2. But that's my opinion. And then Bristol, number 5, Bristol Night Race. That's all I'm going to say about that. Really cool. I'm looking forward. We got our first Crown Jewel this coming up week, the Great American Race. I can't wait, guys. The season is upon us. Let's freaking go. That'll do it for today's episode. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Let me know what you think. What will your top 5 be for Crown Jewels? Let me know what you think of all the news I covered. Frankie Muniz, how he will do. What do you think about F1 invading the Chicago area after NASCAR just had their first Chicago street course not too long ago? But thanks, guys, for watching again, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, y'all.